Start the spring season off right with a new pair of Tecovas Western boots. Handcrafted and over 200 steps from genuine leather, they're built to last and feel broken in the moment you put them on. From cowhide to exotic leathers, Tecovas blends timeless style with all-day comfort. Pair them with premium denim, Western shirts, and accessories for an effortless, polished look. Shop quality Western goods in-store or online at tecovas.com.
This is Sepideh Moafi, and you're listening to You Might Know Her From with Damien and Anne.
Oh, hey, we're just talking, laughin, lovin, breathin.
Oh, God bless Betty.
Welcome to another episode of You Might Know Her From with Damien and Anne.
I'm Anne.
I'm Damien.
And we are here to get into all things the L word today. It's a huge week for us.
I'm sure you saw the episode description. We have series regular from the L word, Generation Q, Sepideh Moafi. She plays Gigi, or as I like to say, Gigi. And we were so grateful to chat with her. So we're going to get into that interview in just a moment, but we felt like we needed to reserve this episode as our
L word talk time.
Yes, L word focus, getting into our thoughts on the new episode and all of those things. When we talked to Sepideh, we hadn't seen the new episodes yet. Right. So we talked to her pre-show.
So we know a little bit more now than we did when we were talking to her. So we'll get into that. But first of all, we just need to get like the L word primer out of the way. It's a big show for the two of us. It's something that brings us together. Damien is my best friend. He is a rarity. He is a gem in this world in that he is a gay man who loves lesbian culture. It's why we are so deeply connected, because I'm a lesbian who also loves gay male culture. So I just feel like this show brings us together in a really... Sorry, I'm choking on it.
She's crying.
I'm crying about the way that the L word has brought us together. It's the perfect synergy of like everything that we love. Classy, luxury, fancy TV, but also like garbage trash, lesbian sex, character actresses. It's really been a highlight for us. So if you haven't watched the original series, please get into it.
It is like if you took, let me see, I'm going to play this by ear. It's like this is the recipe for the O word. It is the original. Mm-hmm. It is like if you take Melrose Place, mix it with... what's the movie with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Bridget Fonda where she tries to...
Single white female.
Single white female. Mm. A lot of, like, lesbian sex. A lot of 80s actresses that, like, you haven't seen in a while. A lot of great character actresses. A lot of lesbian cameos. And kind of throw them all into a blender. You get the L word. It is, like, at once lowbrow, at once highbrow. It is... great performances, crazy performances, so funny, so dramatic. I love it so much.
And the Generation Q, which is the new iteration of the show, has wisely brought back three of the regulars that we are obsessed with, which is Jennifer Beals, Leisha Haley, and Kate Moennig. The show was a big deal for me because I was watching it before I was out of the closet, and then it was still the early-ish age of the internet where you could like download things online, but it took forever. So I would try to download like the sex scenes from some like weird website to get those, so that then it was just harder to rewatch everything because like streaming didn't exist. So you could find edited sex scenes on YouTube, but it was just, you know, it was a darker internet time, but I also wasn't out of the closet. So the show was a really big deal for me because I sort of secretly watched it. And then I remember being worried that it would like show up on my search queue or something. You know what I mean? It was just, it's very interesting because I think young gay people are also have watched the original L word at this point. So it's funny that 14-year-olds like know the show. It's so good. It's so over the top. It's also Showtime, not HBO. So there's like a little less prestige. So it's just like kind of garbagey in like the most wonderful way. It also has really esoteric guests like Kate Clinton. And then they also get like Gloria Steinem, but then it's also like Sybil Shepherd and Jane Lynch. And
Marlee Matlin.
Oh my God. The list goes on and on.
Kate Capshaw's daughter.
Oh my God. Who's
Jessica
ever playing
Capshaw.
a lesbian? I'm not into her.
And then also like musical guests like the Ditty Bops and Sleater-Kinney and Toshi Regon, like just like great like queer or queer adjacent musicians. I think Shawn Colvin's in an episode. I don't think she's a lesbian, but she's in an episode.
Yeah, they're calling her a lesbian icon, I think, with Sunny Came Home. But the show is so good. You can stream it all now. It's available for you. So if you're looking for what I like to call another warm blanket show, the L word is it. You can tear through it.
And it's on Netflix.
It's super sexy. There's also like real dyke sex happening on it, which is great. It's also written, directed, and produced by women and lesbians. So behind the scenes, Guinevere Turner, who is for sure another lesbian icon that we had on the show, was a huge part of it. And
Angela Robinson and Rose Trochet and Jamie Babbitt.
And of course, Ilene Chaiken,
yes,
who Damien calls Ilene Chaiken, that we get into later on. The show is insane and wonderful. And then, of course, the big thing about the 6th season, no spoilers, but like it turns into a murder mystery. The show just goes really far left. It goes so strange. And it's kind of, when you rewatch it, it's so weird and bizarre and wonderful.
And also, this is not a spoiler, but Lucy Lawless joins the cast in the final season and like a recurring role, like a role as like a nod to her, like her own like lesbian fandom that exists for Xena. And she plays like a detective on the hunt for the murder mystery. Oh my God, it sounds so stupid and it's so delicious.
And we're just going to give a shout out to the great Mia Kirshner, who I think is undervalued in the show as a whole. I think she's doing great work and asked to do so many absurd things throughout the entire series. She's an excellent Canadian actress. I love her. We would love to have any of the cast from the show, but I love Mia Kirshner. I can't wait to talk to her about
She's doing so much
Jenny.
heavy lifting with a character that is universally, I would say, despised.
Totally. So we really get deep into this with Seppi, and she really was game for us. She invited us into her home in Brooklyn. She was so charming, wonderful, offered us tea, and we had a really incredible time with her. She's fantastic. You might know her from
The L Word, Generation Q,
The Deuce,
Notorious,
and Falling Water. Get into our interview with Sepideh Moafi. Well, we are here with actor and singer Sepideh Moafi. Thank you so much for having us into your beautiful home.
Thank you so much for being here.
We are thrilled.
And thank you for sharing this tea with me.
We came with our own and we're going to throw it in the trash because we were presented with something better. So thank
It's
you.
true.
Yeah. Okay. So Seppi, we're just going to dive right in because this is very big for us. to
We're
talk
so
to
excited.
you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So Seppi, you play a new character named Gigi on the L Word Generation Q, which is the new reboot.
That's right.
So were you tentative to join a reboot of a show that had such like a rabid, beloved fan base that was something we loved, but also was admittedly somewhat uneven?
No, I guess I didn't really think about it, and I'm good at not thinking about things before I do them. No, it was kind of a no-brainer for me because of its cultural and social significance today. I think it's more important today than it's ever been. And so the idea of the reboot, and after reading the script and speaking with the showrunner and the producers about what their plans were for the season and the character, yeah, I didn't think twice about it.
Can you tell us anything about it?
Well, you'll definitely see relationships and dynamics that have not been explored on television or film, really, that I know of. Possibly in film, but without saying too much, my character gets involved in certain situations that are mind-bending and kind of break the cultural, social norm, I guess you can say.
Okay. So, I mean, we watched the original show. Did you watch the show?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan.
Okay. So the show was lily white and like didn't get as much criticism when it first came out, I think, as it should have. But as the culture has changed a little bit, things have shifted and the new iteration is decidedly not lily white.
Yes.
And I read that the showrunner, Marja Lewis-Ryan, had said that she was really interested in having an Iranian woman character because there's a huge Iranian population in Los Angeles that isn't usually depicted on screen.
Yeah.
Was that something that was also important to you walking into the show?
Totally. That's a conversation that we had very early on. She'd said to me, Gigi is Iranian for no other reason than half my friends are Iranian and lesbians. Half of the people that I know in LA are Iranian, and that's just not represented in the gay or straight community. You know what I mean? And so the fact that we have a Middle Eastern, let alone Iranian woman on screen, open about her sexuality and sort of breaking the sort of stereotypes, for me, that's the most important thing in the work that I do, is normalizing what might be stigmatized or what might be judged in another way. You know what I mean? It's just so much more accessible and normal than what is presented on TV. So I think it's an important representation for the Middle Eastern community. It's not something that's really explored much in film and TV. And speaking Farsi, having, mixed kids, my kids on the show are half white, half Persian. And that was something that was important to her, and trying to explore more what it means to be a modern day LA person or a modern day American, really. You're not white or you're not just Persian. It's like we're all everything. So that was really exciting.
Can you say sort of what your relationship was, A, to the L word, and B, to the LGBTQ community?
Sure. To the L word, I had watched episodes throughout the years, but then it wasn't until we got into conversations, with the team.
You binge watched it.
I binge watched.
Oh my god! You're gonna be okay. Good.
So I binged the show, and I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of these actors outside of their work on L Word.
No, Jennifer Beals is an icon.
She is an icon as a human being and as an artist. I mean, she's truly 100% artist. I really love her.
And not to go on a tangent just for a moment, but I feel like Jennifer Beals.
I like that you said Jennifer.
Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals.
But I feel like she made an effort to make the original L Word not lily white by saying to Ilene Chaiken, I want my character.
You're in a French moment.
Go on, please, monsieur.
She was like, I want my character to be biracial.
Yeah.
They made, I think that in some iteration, Pam Grier wasn't her sister, and then she was like, Pam Grier is my sister.
Yes.
So that was cool because they were the only people of color in that iteration of the show.
And it wasn't even like a diluted, sort of watered down version of, from the very beginning of the series, her and Tina's relationship was like having
and the sperm donor and
totally.
And I wish that there was more of that, actually. Like the show explored that more, because then they have Angelica, and then it's sort of like the issue of Angelica being a mixed child is no longer like a topic of conversation. It's about her
Angus.
fucking the carpenter. Yeah, and fucking Angus.
I'm obsessed with the fact that all of your J's and G's are all Zhs now. Just have to say.
Hopefully I'm having a stroke while we're doing this interview.
We're calling the paramedics.
I smell toast.
That's so funny. We'd actually have that conversation a lot on set, because certain people would be like Gigi, other people would be like Gigi.
Yeah, so tell us, what is the official, how are you saying it? How do you say your name?
Gigi.
Gigi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gigi.
Or Gigi. I'm fine with anything, baby. And whatever you call me, I'll respond.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
Seppi.
Yes.
Will the new series address Jenny Schechter at all and her death?
Schechter.
Or is it going to be like a Will and Grace where they just pretend that the last season
You guys
didn't
are trying
happen?
to get
Do you know what I mean?
spoilers out of me. I'm not fucking telling you.
That's fair.
No, yeah, I can't say anything, but maybe.
Ilene Chaiken
Is
has you locked in a
Ilene
basement
a
until...
part of things?
Yeah,
She is. Okay,
I
great.
love Ilene so much. Yes, she's an executive producer, and she's on set, and she's at all the table reads. And
What does Ilene wear to set?
What is she?
Is she like a Penny Marshall in a baseball cap, or like
at all?
I feel like she's like a Nora Ephron. I feel like she's like in
suit.
like a Patagonia.
Yeah.
Neither Patagonia and L.A. That's
Fair.
Okay. No, she just looks like a boss. She is a boss.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to do a speed round about the OGL word.
Uh-oh.
So just prepare yourself a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Were you into Bet and Tina together or separated?
Together.
Okay.
Who do you think killed Jenny? I know they said who did it, but who did you think did it? Because it wasn't earned, in my opinion.
I honestly, I keep wanting to say, just for fun, Alice. But
You know that they filmed a pilot with her as the murderer.
And it was
I know, we
fucking
talked
Melissa
about
Leo as the warden, and I was like, where the fuck is that footage?
I know.
I've been looking for it for years.
insane.
The Farm.
The
It was
Farm.
called The Farm.
Right.
Which was essentially Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, word.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Were you a fan of Dana?
I was. Yeah. What do you mean,
hesitation.
as a character?
Were you
or
glad
as an
she died?
actor? Oh no! I'm not glad anybody dies. Well, no. Yeah, I was a fan. She wasn't my favorite.
So who was your favorite?
necessarily. My favorite character
Yeah.
was Alice. Is Alice? I love her.
I was not a fan of Dana. I wasn't happy that she died, but I didn't care
I
about
thought
her.
Erin Daniels was good. I thought she was good.
she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. That wasn't my favorite relationship. I'll say that.
Okay, so who do you identify as maybe this is Alice? Who do you feel like is like that? I'm a so and so from this cast. I'm admittedly
From
an
the original
Alice.
cast.
Yeah, I'm an Alice.
I'm like all of them. Really, that's how I felt about Sex and the City, too. I was like, I'm a little slutty. I'm a little prude. I'm a little bossy.
Okay, fair.
I'm a little open. So, like, all of them. I definitely, with, like, Shane, with Alice, with, kind of a melting pot of all of them.
Whatever happened to Papi?
Oh, you tell me.
We don't know.
Where is it? Janina Gavankar.
Gavankar.
Yeah. I actually just saw her a couple months ago. We had dinner.
Text her and let her know that we've been looking for her.
Yeah.
She might be there. Who knows?
Oh my God. If Papi's back, I will die.
Oh my God. You guys are hardcore.
Were you sexually into Carmen?
I mean, who's not sexually into Carmen? She's insanely beautiful.
Yeah. But were you more into Carmen or Cherie Jaffe?
Oh, interesting. I mean, obviously Carmen, for me.
Really?
I love Rosanna Arquette. I love her.
Yeah. But like, Carmen.
Yeah, but there's like an innocence, a sexiness, and Carmen's kind of got all the flavors. But honestly, I was watching the show, and I'm friends with Kate. Hi, Kate. I was like insane for Kate, for Shane.
Yeah.
I mean,
who wasn't?
Yeah, it's like a lot of swag that is just like
It's
sort of
just
undeniable.
Too much swag.
Yeah.
It's like it makes every person, animal, being.
Aside from Shane, Bet, and Alice, can you tell us if anybody else from the original series will be making an appearance?
Yes.
Better not be an Angelica misdirect for me. Okay.
So we're going to put the L word to bed just for a brief moment.
Okay.
Don't worry, it'll rear its ugly head.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, you're going to, I mean, the gay fans are coming, just so you know.
That's what I keep hearing, but I'm so oblivious.
You're going to have to turn off the comments on your Instagram.
How do I do that? You can show me later.
I don't know.
None of us know. None of us know. Okay. Seppi, you played Loretta on HBO's The Deuce.
Yeah.
Which is an excellent show, and we both have been binging in anticipation of the interview and really loving. So
cool.
Loretta begins the series as a sex worker and ends the series as the owner of a bar and an anti-pornography activist. How versed were you in the sort of New York City history that forms the landscape of the show?
Before shooting season 1, which was, believe it or not, like 5 years ago, or the pilot episode, and then there was a year in between the pilot and season 1. But before that, I read some books, like pimp memoirs and former sex workers and the history of New York. And so I had always had a sort of a pull towards soul music of the 70s and 70s fashion, but I'd never really studied it, really. And so I started studying, and along with that came the study of vintage porn, which actually, this is a great story. I was at Whole Foods one time. When I get into like Seppi work mode, I'm like really intense and I'm not really aware of what's around me. I was in the Whole Foods line, and it was really long, and I was watching vintage porn on my phone. And now I have a privacy screen, but my headphones are in and I'm watching, and then I get up to the register, and without realizing, I put the phone down and I'm like paying, and the guy is just looking at my phone. Doesn't even register until I pick it up. I'm like, oh my God, he thinks I'm such a freak. But then I was shooting another show, and a similar thing happened. I had my speakers on, and it's like, all that shit. And someone knocks on the door, and I open it totally oblivious, because it's not like I'm in my room, like getting myself off. I'm just watching to study. And then I don't even realize it. And the second AD's eyes go wide, and I'm like, So yes, I watched a lot of porn in preparation. It's actually changed my relationship to porn. It's hard after you read these stories and become one of these stories in your own world and heart and imaginative space. It's hard to go back and see, that world in the same way, even though I know and am friends with a lot of people that I met through the show who were former sex workers and sex positive activists. And it's just, it's a tough thing to navigate and negotiate,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my knowledge of that world in the 70s before the show was very little until I got the role. But that's the case with most shows, and many actors, I'm sure, can say that you get a role and you really try to learn as much about the period, the circumstances, the characters, background, all of that.
And Loretta was based on a real person, or sort of an amalgam of multiple real people?
Both. In the beginning, there was a very clear trajectory for her. And then during first season, I actually booked a show in LA. So I was only in a few episodes and they worked around me. It was amazing. And then it wasn't until third season that I was like kind of there full time. But what was supposed to happen with Loretta didn't end up happening because I couldn't fulfill her arc as initially planned. So it went in a different direction, and I'm actually really pleased with the outcome of who this character ended up becoming.
I think what's interesting is you're about to, premiere in the L Word, which is a sort of women-helmed set.
Yeah.
And the Deuce is not antithetical, but interesting in that it's a really male-helmed show.
Yeah.
And the star, Maggie Gyllenhaal also stars, but the sort of centerpiece of the show is James Franco, who sort of had a few allegations of, sexual harassment against him during the course of the filming of the show. And David Simon has sort of been pretty frank in talking about what that looked like and what his set looked like. Can you talk a little bit about being on a show that was about sort of the sexual commodification of women on a set that was sort of run predominantly by men?
I mean, there were a lot of women on that set too, and especially for the first season, I think what was so unique about The Deuce was that it was an exploration of so many of these, stories of sex workers, so many of these women on the streets. Now the narrative shifted and went into the porn world, where it still did explore, the sort of cost and the way of life for a lot of these sex workers and people who work in film, adult film. But it always, to me, felt like a really safe, woke, sensitive set. I've been in shows, plays, and also other television shows where it didn't feel like that. And it wasn't about, the ratio of male, female. It was just like this energy on set where it was all about the business, and the human beings are kind of irrelevant in a way. But that was never the case with Deuce. They're very mindful, they're very conscious, they're very open, as is James. In my experience, I don't really know or am qualified to really say anything on the allegations, but what I know of him and what I have seen of him has been nothing but respectful and professional, and always in pursuit for artistic truth, artistic purity. And so it never struck me as anything on set, unusual on set. And even with scenes like at the end of season 2, I had a scene where it was very violent. I attack my pimp, and that's when I leave him. And that was a really intense scene. And I loved working with the director, Minky Spiro. She's brilliant. But she comes from a photography background, and she wanted to make sure she got every shot she needed. So we shot that scene for 9 hours straight. And the producers, I'm not kidding, because not only was it an emotional scene, it was a physical scene. And I had my whole body was banged up for weeks after. But they came to me, our producers, Alex Hall and George Pelikanos, bringing ice packs, making sure I had fans on me, making sure I had water, constantly taking care of me. And that was kind of the tone of the set throughout, at least in my experience. So it never, to me, honestly, I have to say this, and maybe this is controversial, I think historically speaking, obviously women have not been given the opportunities, especially in terms of film production, that men have. And so that was something that was refreshing to see in the L Word, was a set that was 95% women.
And did a lot of women direct episodes too? Because I feel like that was
all direct
amazing
in the L Word. Yeah, and in Deuce, with the exception of Alex Hall and James Franco this season, but last season, Roxanne Dawson, Steph Green, who also directed and is executive producer on the L Word, Minky Spiro, the list goes on of female directors. So I've been very blessed that I went from a show to another show where it was predominantly female directors. But anyway, back to my initial point, it's sometimes does not have to. I know some women that are more misogynist, have more misogynistic tendencies than some of the men I know. And so I think this superficial blanket, if it's all women, it's okay, is a little naive, because I've had plenty of encounters with women who have been very sexist, and it's just a sort of a product of the system. But I think that what I'm grateful for is that, especially post Me Too, networks productions are making such an obvious effort to employ more women, to give more women opportunities, especially women of color, which is absolutely essential.
Maybe you've answered this a little bit, but David Simon has said that he wouldn't work again without having an intimacy coach on a set. Do you feel like the show would have benefited from that, or did you feel it like safe at all times? I mean, it sounds like you felt safe, but do you think you could have benefited from having an intimacy coach to be like...
We did.
Oh, you did have one?
Yeah, The Deuce was the first show to employ an intimacy coordinator on a film or television set. And it's become the norm ever since.
Yeah.
So first season, it was not a thing. And that was a problem because, I mean, everyone was uncomfortable about the subject matter. David and George didn't want to go into a show about porn. They're like, we have no interest. And then they heard these stories and from the guy, the real Vincent, a guy named Steve, who has passed since, but they sat down with him for hours and he just told these stories and they're like, holy shit, now we have to make a show about porn because it's so relevant today. You know, it's not just about porn. It's about the commodification of sex. It's about capitalism. It's about these broken systems, which is so in line with the types of shows that they do already. But yeah, to answer your question, starting season 2, once it was brought to their attention, mainly spearheaded by Emily Mead, who's a brilliant actress on the show, they immediately addressed the issue. And before, I just feel like women, before Me Too, in general, women didn't feel like they had the ability to speak up about these things because they threaten us with jobs. It's like, oh, you don't want to, you want to speak up about this? You want to complain about this? Great, we'll just find the actor that'll do it and not complain. But now I feel like there's been a mass wave of people feeling empowered to say whatever the fuck they want.
Word, yeah.
Did the L Word also employ intimacy coaches?
I love her, yes. She was great, and because I didn't actually I worked with the stunt coordinator on The Deuce, but I didn't have any sex scenes or anything on The Deuce, which was also kind of a shift from the original plan. I was supposed to go into the porn world, and because of what happened, I ended up not going into it. But in the L Word, we did, and I did work with an intimacy coordinator who is awesome. It's amazing it's just like you have a conversation about what the scene is, what the director wants, what you feel good about, and she's kind of a middleman, or he is kind of a middle person, to make sure that the actor feels safe and make sure that you can find a way to, as the actor and the director, give each other what you need.
It's very cool. I saw, there was that article in the New York Times about maybe it's the same woman, I don't know, but she worked with Audra McDonald and Michael Shannon in Frankie and Johnny.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole opening first scene, they're completely naked, fucking. And I was like, it was so hot. And like, they both looked very comfortable.
Totally.
I was very into it.
Yeah. It's like, why not? We have stunt coordinators.
Right.
We have people who deal with like...
Yeah, it makes actual perfect sense. It's interesting that it took us so long to get there.
I remember hearing interviews with actresses where they would talk about being in a scene where they would just say, I think it was on the L Word, where they were talking about like, oh, it's easier for me to say to this actress, like, I actually feel not great about this part of my body. Can you cover this part when we roll over or whatever? I was like, that's so fascinating. It's just like the technicality of it that you don't think about it when you're watching it.
And that's not always the case, right? And I know that there were certain actors from the original L Word who initially it was kind of like, what's the point of this? We don't really need it, do we? And then you realize it's like, whether you need it or not, they're there for, spoiler alert, I had a couple pretty steamy scenes this season, and having the intimacy coordinator there was just like a person the director is watching so many different things. And so the intimacy coordinator studies your contracts, your nudity riders, and sees what each actor has in writing and make sure that that's honored. If something is not, if something slips or whatever, they make a note, okay, this is the take where we can't use this or whatever. They're just like, they have their eyes only on the nudity and the sex. And so I think that's great because the director has so much other shit to think about and focus on. And you want to, like, for me at least, and for all of us, the people that are on the show, it's like, you know, you want it to be real, you want it to be authentic, and you don't want for them to use a take just because it honored the you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you get it right.
Yeah.
So I love it. I think it's the greatest development in this industry.
Yep.
Okay, Seppi.
Yeah.
This is the part of our show.
Okay.
It's like a rapid fire round. So what
We
I
already
mean,
had a rapid fire.
yeah. But that was like a
special L
that was
word.
like a special
Okay,
L word.
okay,
one.
that's an added
So this one is like rapid fire for us.
Okay.
You can take your time.
Okay.
But like our questions are going to bounce from all over the place.
Great.
All over the
love it. It's so good for my ADHD. Okay.
Okay. In Farsi, your name means dawn.
Yes.
What and where is the most beautiful sunrise you've ever seen?
Oh, Bali.
Okay. Seppi, our past guest, Sakina Joffrey, says that Hollywood has a limited imagination, and there's a recent trend where women of color are being cast in television and film in interracial relationships as lesbians. You starred on the USA series Falling Water, where you were in an interracial lesbian relationship. Can you confirm or deny this theory?
Women of color are cast as lesbians in interracial relationships.
I mean, clearly, yes, because I was cast in an interrelation,
Twice now.
Twice now.
Yeah, have you played other lesbians or queer people,
Have I played
like on
other
a TV show?
Actually, yes, but then they ended up cutting. It was in the last episode.
You're like, no, we don't like it. We don't like it.
Like,
She's
no,
straight, she's straight.
No, she ain't. No, it was so random, and it seemed so gratuitous because it was in the last episode of Notorious. I think that's why they cut it, because it was like randomly.
It was like when,
make out with this woman.
It was like when Stephanie March was at her. She like left Law and Order, and as she was like, she got fired in the show.
And also, she's gay.
And as she's like walking out of the courtroom, she's like, "Is this because I'm a lesbian?" And she was never a lesbian in the entire series. Like ever, it was never addressed.
But Law and Order was like, check, yes, we
so like
did
as
that.
she like
Exactly.
as she
Such
leaves,
bullshit.
It is such bullshit. It is.
Sakina
such
just
bullshit.
like we listed off multiple times, and she said Lisa Gay Hamilton called and said, "Do you want to come be my gay wife?" She was like, "No, I have a gay black wife on the show that I'm on right now." And it was just interesting.
and we
that
had never thought about it, and now we've been keeping a list.
Interesting. How many do you have so far?
Glow, there's Yolanda and
Arthi, yeah.
they're like interracial
Yeah.
lesbians.
There's one in Lost in Space. I forget the name of Lisa Gay Hamilton's like astronaut show.
Then there's Timeless.
Right.
So that's the off the top of our head.
This is a complicated discussion because I feel like not just with like gay relationships, I feel like in general, women of color, historically speaking, have been like exoticized or whatever,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
made to be like the sexual object in general. But and having said this, like I've been in plenty of interracial relationships, and so many of my friends. So it's like it is a representation of what's out there. It's just what you decide to cast. So I don't know. I think both are true. Yes
Yeah.
and no.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important representation. At the same time, it's not about the representation. It's about how it's represented.
Totally. And
You know
is
what I
this like
mean?
an actual like integral couple to the show? Are they actually getting real plot lines? Is their relationship part of the
Exactly.
characterization? Or are you just like tokenizing all of this and saying like, great, we can say that we did that, but they're not actually getting anything to do?
It's like when you have a whole all-white cast and then you have like a guest star role that's like a doctor who has like one line and it's like the person of color. It's like, cool, you made them a doctor, but also they have no lines and they're like, you know?
Yes, it's checking the fucking boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You brought up Notorious. Anne has a question about Notorious.
Is Piper Perabo a lesbian icon?
you know what? Apparently she is. She's
Yeah.
not a lesbian at all.
Right.
But I realized
I
from
was
being
wondering
on the show that
because what is it? Lost and Delirious.
Yeah,
and
with
Imagine
Me and You.
Janina.
Imagine
Yes.
Me and You.
Yeah.
And also Coyote Ugly is like gay-ish.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
for sure like a gay man's movie, but
She's
also
not-
I think
for
lesbians
me,
are
she's not my lesbian.
She's not an icon for me, a lesbian
But
icon.
I'm just saying there is something, and I was like, oh right, you were on Notorious with her, and now we know that they made you gay at the end.
yeah, they made me gay and then deleted that.
But so fuck them. But did you were lesbians coming for Piper Perabo when you were
Lesbians were coming for Piper Perabo.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. It is strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I love
it
it.
came to me as we were walking over here.
But you know what? It's great. And because I love Piper as a great human being, and she's an activist and she uses her platform in ways that I find very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that way, it's great because if there's going to be a straight person who's going to be a representative for lesbian, I think Piper is a great person who lends her heart and voice to great causes, sure. But it's kind of sad because the representation in the past has just been so sparse and like a bunch of, it's not about being gay or straight. It's like, it's just limited options,
Totally.
right? So we really cling on to whatever
Right.
there is.
Was like streaming on Logo nonstop before there was streaming on cable. Yeah.
Seppi, you split your time between New York and LA.
I do.
Do you have a preference?
New York, baby.
Thank God.
Well,
Okay.
can you tell me
Sorry.
why?
Sorry.
We feel very ingrained in New York.
Yeah.
LA for the work, yeah, sure, but like we love New York.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why you love New York?
Yeah, I love New York for so many reasons. The energy, the diversity. I love that people from all different sort of like socio-political, economic backgrounds are all crammed onto one subway that is delayed 40 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a very humbling experience, and I'm all about the sort of I like when everything feels sort of even, the democratization of social interaction. You know, I don't believe in like, oh, this is a star, so let's treat them a certain way. Or it's just, and that's what New York feels like. There's no putting Hollywood or political culture on a pedestal. It's just like everybody. I remember a few years ago, I think it was like LeBron James and someone else decided to take the subway because the traffic was so bad, and it created this huge delay, and they were like told off by a bunch of these angry New Yorkers. They're like, take the fucking car where you belong, get out of here, because they were creating these mass delays, and there's something so refreshing about the fact that I can go to, Three Lives bookstore and there's Daniel Day-Lewis and nobody cares really. I mean, people care, sure, but
they won't let you know they care.
No, exactly.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. It feels very easy to live here, and there's no, in LA it feels very different, and it's also just very
They're interested
spread
if you're a
out.
series regular, if you're recurring.
That's right. They're like, what is it? Let me IMDb you. Oh my God, you're famous.
What's your number what's your star meter?
Yeah, what's your star meter? No, but it just feels very spread out in LA, and I understand and respect why people appreciate LA, because the way of life is just, it's a lot more comfortable and the weather is consistent.
You didn't say better. You just said consistent. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh, the weather's so great. I'm like, yeah, it is. But I have this theory that you never know when anything happened, that your memories are all fucked because it's the same weather all year round.
All the time. And that's the thing. It's like coming back to Brooklyn last night and getting off the train. And I just, with a group of friends, we went and saw a screening of Uncut Gems. And then we came to this restaurant I love, Sofra, in Brooklyn. It's a Persian restaurant. And we get off the train and it's like the air is so crisp, and the fucking buildings and it just, everyone's out. There's just more of a sense of community here. And everyone comes here to pursue, it's like the capital of the American dream. So it doesn't matter what you want to do. Everyone's here with this energy of like, bring it energy. And everyone wants to be here. As opposed to LA, it's like, oh, I think maybe, how many Uber drivers I've had that's like, oh, I think maybe I'm going to try acting. I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Literally.
You're our people. We appreciate it.
Okay, Seppi, name your top 5 lesbians.
My top 5 lesbians.
Or just any 5 off the top of your head, whatever you want. You can choose.
My top 5 in what way, though? What do
I'm
you
not going
mean?
to qualify it. I just want to know, if I say to
Like
you,
my taste?
your top 5 lesbians. I'm not going to say like sexually or artistically or anything. It's your top 5.
I mean, do they have to be famous?
Give me 2 out of 5 that are famous.
Okay, the first one that came to my mind is this composer that I worked with actually at the New York Philharmonic. Her name's Ashley Fury. She's like she's one of the most brilliant human beings I've ever known. In the limelight,
They can be dead.
they can be dead.
Who's a dead lesbian?
Gertrude Stein.
There you go.
Sure. Gertrude Stein, and now I don't want to sound creepy because I'm like on the show with her and she's my friend, but Kate Moennig.
She's for sure like an iconic lesbian. She's iconic.
Is an iconic lesbian.
For now generations at this point.
Yes, absolutely.
And like
Yeah.
young, it was weird to just, not weird, of course it was, because I was devouring whatever gay content I could when I was like 8, you know, so I get it. But like it's interesting to meet 14-year-old kids who have all seen the L Word, the original series, and be like, she's iconic for them now.
It is crazy because it's like you think that, especially watching the show again now, I was like, holy crap, this is so dated.
Yes!
I'm also interested.
All of those.
But you know what? Dallas Buyers Club seems dated too, and that was just like 5
Yo,
years
that
ago.
is so true.
Isn't it crazy?
It's wild. It's
how
wild.
Yeah.
He won an Oscar for playing a trans woman.
can't.
It's
Actually.
so
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
It is so offensive.
And I saw it in the theater. I gave out money.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to say anything too bad about that. But yeah, that's kind of complicated.
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's great, and I appreciate the fact that
Yes.
we've been moving so fast.
Yes.
But it's also like makes me angry that we're ever there.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
And it was only like 6 years ago or whatever. Okay, so back to your question, top lesbians. I'm seriously with names with all the. I can't even think of people who are out.
You
in
can
this.
send it. You can send us a list afterwards, and we'll include it in the epilogue.
My top 5.
Yeah, like Cynthia Nixon.
No. I mean, no offense.
No. There's no offense taken.
But here's-
Wanda Sykes, Rosie
Audre
O'Donnell,
Lorde.
Katie Lang, Melissa Etheridge.
Martina
Melissa Etheridge
Navratilova.
came to me too, and that's someone that I used to kind of like love, but now I'm too much of a purist when it comes to this stuff because it's like a lot of the lesbians that I sort of admire are people that I know in my life, and I'm not really someone who's like I don't have a top 5 list of celebrity anything really.
I don't know who mine would be, but I'm going to think about it now.
Yeah.
I know.
We're going to add. You're going to send it. We're going to add it to the epilogue.
Okay. Now, and they have to be celebrities.
Just a name that's recognizable for the listener.
Oh, sorry, listeners. I'm a boring person.
I'm into Ashley Fury.
Ashley Fury.
Yeah, we're gonna
First of all, it's a drag name. That's
I
fat.
know.
That's a very
She's amazing.
But also,
She
like
is-
that's a cool.
We're gonna link
that's-
out to her in
Yeah,
the
like
show
I want
notes.
to. I want our.
Get a bio.
But I want our listeners to know her.
We're gonna
so, like,
tag.
that's
We're
a
gonna
cool,
tag her,
that's a cool
Ashley
person.
Fury. Yep.
Okay,
Okay, great.
Oh, now she's gonna just like.
She's gonna
this
block
is-
us. It's fine.
This is putting me in a great position that now it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you're a creeper, aren't you? It's like, no, I'm not a creeper.
No, they're gonna think we're creeps. They're not gonna think you're a creep. You know what I mean? Like you're fine. You're fine.
Who are yours? Can I ask you?
Yeah, I was just trying to think. I do love Audre Lorde, so I'm putting Audre Lorde on my
Okay.
list. I love Rosie O'Donnell. She is a problem in a variety of ways, but I love her so much.
Sure.
Yeah, she's in my top 5.
Yeah, and
Is she? Mm-hmm. Oh, Virginia Woolf, for sure.
wow,
Virginia
yeah.
Woolf.
That's
See,
great.
dead
See, I'm
lesbians.
weird, and I'm like,
No,
I'm
that's not
very-
weird.
No,
She's
just-
great. She's an icon.
She is great.
Yeah.
And a brilliant mind.
I'm trying to think of my other top lesbians. I'm gonna have to come back to it. I feel like I should have this list.
We're all gonna revisit in the
Can
epilogue.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to.
You're gonna
revisit
send
this.
it to us,
I'm
and we're gonna
send
think
it to
about
you.
ours.
Yeah, we'll engage and then we'll list it in the epilogue.
Okay.
Okay.
Final question here.
Yes.
Seppi.
Yes.
Loretta on the Deuce is an anti-pornography advocate. Do you watch porn? And if so, what is your preferred genre? Mine is very amateur, like when you can't see anything and you can just hear people like, and they're like oh, we're in a stairwell, like someone's coming.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, my favorite genre is sort of also amateur for sure, but like when something's happening in the background, like on TV, like one of my
Yeah.
favorite porn scenes is at a hotel where the SNL episode, actually starring Rosie O'Donnell, where Whitney Houston and Penny Marshall come in, is happening in the background. I was like, this is so great. It's two women.
Oh, okay.
It's two women, and then there's just Rosie O'Donnell, Penny Marshall, and Whitney Houston on in the background. As if it's like I know the whole episode by heart. So then it's like I'm emblazoning like the sex scene and the comedy at the same time. It's really warped my sense
Erotic.
of self. But for me, that's like amateur for sure.
yeah, it's always
So
amateur.
if you feel comfortable sharing, what is your favorite genre?
My
of
favorite
porn?
genre of porn. So your initial question, do I watch porn? I used to watch porn.
the show changed your relationship
It
to it.
did. I mean, it kind of fucked it up for me. However, there's this new streaming service that we talked about and watched a little bit of. So photographs from, I can't remember if it's from the Netherlands or where, really.
A Scandinavian.
Sure.
Something Scandinavian.
Streaming service that's lesbian porn for lesbians. directed and produced and everything by lesbians.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm putting it in the notes. We're going to
Yes.
Google it on the way home.
Yes, please
Scandinavian lesbian
Yeah.
porn. Got it.
But I would be into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're like the whole idea and the relationship between like the misogynistic culture and
the
porn
lens being different.
The for us, by us part. You know what I mean? Like that is what
Yes.
feels
Yeah.
appealing about that, opposed to this
Totally.
idea of like women having sex for men. You know what I mean? And like women who for sure aren't having sex with women probably in their real life. So that all feels gross.
Exactly.
Also, the racial politics of porn is so
Yes.
problematic and complicated.
Totally.
That's why I just watch what people make on their iPhones. It's easier.
Yeah, sure.
For me, at least. I mean, yeah, it's what I prefer.
Sure, watching. But to your second question, what kind of porn? The kind of porn that I'm more interested in is, I guess something that feels real. Also, I'm an actor, so I'm obsessed with like truth and authenticity and in life and in art, and so something that feels fake and put on to me is just like boring. And so something that feels real and raw and connected, and it doesn't have to be love, but just like people actually fucking touching each other and playing and enjoying each other. But I'm not into like that fetish shit, like the pooping and the peeing and all that. No.
We're not into the pooping and the peeing.
Sorry, we're fetish shaming on this show. Get the fuck out. Thank you so much for joining us on You Might Know Her From.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was the best.
You're the best.
Oh boy. Well, first things first, that interview was amazing. Second thing is that because Seppi was unable to come up with her top lesbians in the moment, she did promise to send them to us, and she came through on that promise. So I'm just going to read these to you real quick, and you are going to love these, y'all. She says, I am a sucker for passion and talent. Here we go. Tasha Sultana, Australian musician. She didn't say that, I did. But then she said emojis of fire and drool. She said Ashley Fury, aforementioned in the interview, who she says is arguably one of the greatest and most radical living composers. Next one, y'all. Sheryl Swoopes, WNBA legend. Oh, I love Sheryl Swoopes. Did Sheryl Swoopes go back on being a lesbian? I don't know. I'm going to look it up after this. Then she said dead lesbians that she loves. Susan Sontag, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Gladys Bentley, blues musician. And then Sappho, Greek poet. What did Seppi write? She wrote, I know, super dead, but I've had a crush on her since high school when I wrote a paper about the fragments. Oh my God. I love Seppi.
Oh my gosh, gang, we curated our list of top 5 lesbians per this conversation with Seppi because we didn't have them at the ready, and that seemed odd. So, Damien, do you want to start with your list? I'm so excited to see your list.
I do, but I think I sort of have 6. Well,
I also have 6. I couldn't cut there's somebody that I couldn't cut out.
You'll understand.
Okay,
so my top 5 lesbians. Number 1, which I think I said in the interview with Seppi, is Cynthia Nixon. Loved her ever since Sex and the City, and also think that she is a great talent. And I think that everyone is sort of on board with that now, but I've been on that train since like 2000.
Completely. Plus her run for governor really just like cemented the whole thing.
Absolutely.
She's an incredible advocate. Love her wife, love her New York life.
Okay, second on my list, which I think we both also said in the room, Rosie O'Donnell.
1,000%.
I've been on board with Rosie since A League of Their Own, Exit to Eden, the Flintstones movie. I love the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Sleepless in Seattle.
I think she's a great advocate for mental health. I know that she has things that are not great, but like she's also human, and I feel like she owns those things. I loved her tenure on The View.
I love like the clips of her jet skiing in Florida every week. I'm obsessed with her.
She was a VH1 VJ, not an MTV VJ, VH1 one. Like I just love so many things about her. She is just like a staple in pop culture, and also like seems to have like love really hard.
Same.
Next person on my list might be controversial because I think that they identified as bisexual, but is Susan Sontag.
Interesting. Yes, but like ended her life with Annie Leibovitz.
Yes, and like had many relationships with women, and also the person who like invented like put camp on the map, which is like maybe the most important thing to me, honestly.
Yeah.
So Susan Sontag as one of my top lesbians. These are in no particular order, but Susan Sontag.
Great addition. Also, the camp exhibit at the Met was one of the greatest things that I did in all of 2019. It had her work all over it. It was exquisite.
Next person in my top 5, Dusty Springfield.
Oh, really nice. Oh my God. I'm sad Dusty's not on my list, but that's so sad because she had one of the greatest lesbian cowgirl weddings of all time.
And they've been rumors of her making a movie to like basically, because I feel like I didn't know Dusty Springfield was like a lesbian for a long time. And I don't know that it was like known, but I don't think it was either like she wasn't hiding it. She wasn't like marrying men.
Correct.
And there was like rumors they were going to make a movie with Charlize Theron, and then there was like they were going to make a movie with Kristen Chenoweth. In any case, I love Dusty Springfield. I love her voice. She has such a textured and soulful voice, and she is stunning. And
great addition.
Next one on my list, Leah Delaria. I love Leah Delaria. I've loved her ever since the Rocky Horror Show Revival, which I was obsessed with her and like her 2 performances where she was playing men. I love that she has been like leading the charge as like a visible lesbian in pop culture for so many years, and as like a butch who's been in the media.
Same.
And
she's on my list too.
I also loved The Edge of 17. I also loved her album of Stanzas, which like her version of Kiko and the Lavender Moon by Los Lobos is so good.
She's a Broadway star too.
Yeah.
She also opened a queer bar like nightclub space in Provincetown that she owns. I think it's called The Club, and it's in P-Town. It's wonderful.
I love her. And my 6th one was you, Anne Roderman.
Emotional.
My real number one.
I can't believe I made your list.
My real number one.
Oh, that's so sweet and really huge. And also it's a big deal for me because I didn't feel comfortable with the word lesbian for a long time. So it's very important to me now to be able to say that. And it's really important to me that you know that. Oh, I feel very emotional. Okay, so we have some crossover on our list. So Rosie O'Donnell was also on my list, of course, as we discussed, as was Leah Delaria. Both are like sort of famous butches, and Rosie's been leaning into her butchness, but Leah Delaria has like been butch since the outset, and is just so great. There's also incredible stuff of her like on the subway fighting back against this sort of like Nazi homophobe sick fuck, and she was just like yelling at them. It was like this Bible thumper, and she was yelling at them because they were being really aggressive on the subways, and she stood her ground, and I just love her for it. I'm so happy for her sort of renaissance. Audre Lorde is on my list, as we discussed, who wrote Zombie, a million other things, like Black poet, lesbian writer, activist, incredible woman. We talked about her on the show a little bit. Okay, so I couldn't narrow my list to 5. I kept it at 6. I have some. Cynthia Nixon made my honorable mentions, but didn't make my top 5, but I love her for the same reasons that you do. Here's my other list. Jenny Shimizu, who we talked about earlier offline.
Yeah, she's an honorable mention for me also.
Okay, she's fucked everybody in Hollywood. She's a supermodel. She's beautiful. She's also a butch. She's like 90s famous, which is my favorite kind of famous.
Yep.
And I just love everything about her. She was sort of like how Angelina Jolie revealed herself to be bisexual. Like, we're going to post our celebrity chart so that you guys can reacquaint yourselves with it, and you'll get to see all of the famous people that Jenny Shimizu fucked. Also in that front, I'm going to give Cara Delevingne an honorable mention for really just fucking her way through Hollywood, and also like ending up seemingly very happy in the current relationship she's in. Married? Did she marry Ashley Benson?
That's the rumor, but I don't know if it's true.
I kind of started off hating her, but I've got to give it up to her. I really like Cara Delevingne now because she seems to be who the fuck she is. Good for her. She's got great eyebrows. Okay, this is probably going to be a controversial choice. Linda Perry. Old teardrop Linda Perry's got to be on my list. Famous from Four Non-Blondes. She has also dated a lot of celesbians, including Clementine Ford, former star of the L Word, and also, of course, now is married to Sarah Gilbert and like has a child with Sarah
Gilbert, but also was she married prior to Sarah Gilbert or somebody else who was not? It was like she was married, then was with Clementine Ford, and then married to Sarah Gilbert.
Again, she's on the chart. I'm not recalling all of the names of people Linda Perry's been with, but it's a lot, and she's wonderful. Also, there's rumors that she fucked Christina Aguilera.
And Pink.
God. And of course, she wrote Beautiful, and What's Up is one of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time. So Linda Perry has a teardrop tattoo, wears weird hats, like forever looks like Jack Sparrow. I love her so much. Okay, and last on my list is OG Lily Tomlin, who's one of the most important people to me in my lifetime and has been out for a very long time, has been working with her partner Jane Wagner, and is like a wonderful, crazy artist. So smart, so funny, kind of dark, and maybe a little mean, which I love. The stuff with her on I Heart Huckabees, where she goes toe-to-toe with fucking sick David O. Russell. Good for her. I was just so glad to see her. She's an icon for me. The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life is one of like my great texts. I have loved her since Laughin. Lily Tomlin is a famous dyke. So many great lesbians. Any other honorable mentions? For me, Sue Perkins from the Great British Bake Off, British comedian. She's an honorable mention for me. Love Sue Perkins.
Leslie Feinberg. I know that's kind of highbrow, but I think that Stone Butch Blues was very important to me in college. So I feel like, and also I just like the idea, like, yes, Butches, more of Butches in media.
I'm also going to throw in one of my favorite L Word cameos, which is Tammy Lynn Michaels, who was on the first and second episode. She played Shane's crazy girlfriend, and she was, of course, married to Melissa Etheridge, and I think maybe got the raw end of that deal, and was on Popular, and is just, I think Tammy Lynn Michaels is hilarious and does great work on the L Word. It's so over the top and so funny, so I'm giving her a shout out too.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and also Katie Lang might be an honorable mention for me, because I feel like she and Melissa Etheridge were like...
And Tracy Chapman.
Oh, Tracy Chapman. Yeah.
Just like 90s lesbians.
90s lesbians are my brand.
And let me just say, I'm going to throw in a few lesbians that I hate just to keep this balance, this list balanced. And that's going to be the entire cast of The Real L Word and Jackie Warner. Okay. So much lesbian goodness on this episode. I really thank you for sticking with us. We could talk about lesbian gossip all day long. Tell me.
We also need to give a shout out to, one, the actress who played Angelica on the new L Word, on L Word Generation Q, Jordan Hull. I thought she was excellent. And in our interview with Seppi, I was like, is anybody coming back from the show who hasn't been announced? And she was like, yes. And I was like, this better not be a misdirect with Angelica. And I don't think it was. I think there's going to be some surprises in store for super fans. But Angelica was actually excellent. And like, she showed up and I was like, yes, you are a great actor.
Yeah, she had some great scenes with Jennifer Beals. So I'm excited actually to see what they're going to do with Angelica. I'm into her. Also, we liked Danny, played by Arian Mandy. We thought she was giving some good energy and had some good stuff with Bet as well. So those were our favorites. We didn't get to see a lot of Seppi in episode 1. So we're excited to see more of her. She's an incredible talent. If you haven't seen The Deuce yet, really go explore it. I can't say that I support David Simon, but I can say that I support Seppi Moafi, who's really doing great work in the show.
And it was like so game for us, and we are just forever fans of hers, and we are so delighted, and we think you should all follow her on social media and just get into being like a super gay fan of this amazing, cool actor.
Okay, folks, make sure that you're rating, reviewing, and subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure that you're shouting out celesbians to us, giving us that sweet lesbian gossip, engaging, telling us what lesbians we missed on this list. Keep hollering back at us. We are here for it.
And while you're at it, follow us on social media at Damian Bellino on all platforms and at Rodaman on all platforms. That's RODEMANNE.
Know Her From is produced by Damian Bellino and Ann Rodeman. Special thanks to our consultants at Grumpy Entertainment, Jason Jude Hill and Daniel Sears. Editing also by Daniel Sears.
All music by Gang. You can find Gang on iTunes and Reverb Nation, reverbnation.com/gang. For a complete list of titles and names we mentioned, check out the show notes compiled at the bottom of each episode description.
Living, laughing, lighting, fighting, cooking, fucking, spitting, chewing, making it, Sepideh, Puda. Love you, Betty.